So here we are in our part two of this conversation. So our
Mhm.
fourth question is about um, how do you see role of a man changing in coming days with the mindset shifts that you see at a broader scale.
I think either we perish today or we purify. According to my understanding, I have come up with this conclusion. This is my own lines. I stopped
Sure,
reading
your
now.
take.
So yeah. So basically, I felt that it's a high time. See, it's one that our time window is shrinking very fast, like faster than we expected, according to my understanding. And if you see the relationship is going haywire, the forget about even relationship, even your personal relationship with yourself, or like I do a lot of work on self-love, is also being destroyed completely. So, and as we say that other relationship is a mere reflection of what relationship I have with myself. That is the way it works. So if I'm not happy
Yeah,
and
nowadays
if I'm
that
not happy,
theory is coming in, like
I beg your pardon?
yeah, like you said, that theory is becoming a little prominent. That it's a mirror reflection, everything
No, but it's
around
a
you.
cosmetic actually. But it's a cosmetic. That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, earlier, if you remember, we were talking about that people are going away from uh, calling and they're texting it. But that's what I was trying to tell you that earlier also in earlier segment that basically they are not, how to say, they have not refined it. That okay, no, I think we shouldn't talk. We should do it. They're doing out of irritation, out of compulsion.
Hmm.
So same way when today we are saying that we are getting into loving ourselves, basically we're not doing loving, we are doing indulgence. Loving is a different concept. I don't want to talk about it. It's an entirely different thing. But basically, loving is acceptance to what you are. Loving doesn't mean I go to the vacation and I start posting a good picture on Instagram. These are the escape
Yeah.
or eating or having a nice dress, and that's what is happening around Instagram all the time, that people are trying to, I would call it very obscene, there's a word, I'm sure, it's an obscene display of
And
their
it's too much of
affluence.
material everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why if you remember today, people are not watching it, they're consuming it. There's a new word has come. So far we are watching content, now we are not watching the content, we are consuming it. Like yesterday, I told somebody and he liked it, that this guy was saying that, oh, I want to get into hookup. I said, you go ahead, but I don't know what she's going to plant it, because what I'm talking to you right now, again, this is another very theoretical concept. It's nothing. It's a conscious brain, which is not a master. Our subconscious brain is our master. So what is happening on a conscious surface is actually nothing to do with what we will do tomorrow.
Hmm.
That's why
Right.
people say so many things. I want to do this. I want to do that, and after 2 days, get fizzle away. Why it
Yeah.
is so?
Yeah. And
Because it
minute
is
by
not
minute,
planted in.
sometimes
Yeah,
things change. Yeah. Maybe the
second
next
by
minute
second. In
you're
fact,
not the same
yeah,
person.
yeah, the span of attention is shrinking so faster. So one very simple thing people do have to understand this, that one, that we have way less time to either we correct ourselves or I don't know what's going to happen. So their relationship is getting completely destroyed for a very simple reason, that people don't know how to communicate. I think the basic fundamental thing. Like somebody saying who you don't know, he or she's inspiring more the person whom you know. The next person you like, I've seen people sitting in a restaurant, couple or family, whatever it is, and they're all on their own phones. So why the hell they're going there? I don't get it.
Sad reality, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's not a matter of good or bad. I'm not saying it's a good or bad. I'm not saying it can be stopped, it cannot be stopped. But what I'm trying to make you understand, that this might create more problem than the solution itself. Like for example, texting. Like I come from very old school thought, and I don't like texting. I like to call people. If I have something to talk, I would call. Maybe for out of courtesy, I could text him or her just to make sure that are you available, but I would like to call or I would like to talk. So calling is more
Always beautiful
straight.
way of
Yeah, it's
communication.
more straight and more factual, more tangible.
Yeah.
So
And
basically,
certain things when it comes to communication, what I have experienced, like in my young days, is like now also they are young days, but it's about the communication wasn't that fills one's heart or does not fill one person. It was about just picking on each other, just bullying each other. And that's where I feel the kind of words used by people is somewhere it started distancing people and putting each other in their own boxes. But the same when I started practicing to speak and use more of good words which will strike another person's heart's chord, it gets even more beautiful. So, at least in my
so
reality, for my life, I'm doing those conscious changes. And like you said, people sit on, like, they take their phone in restaurants. I deliberately stop taking my phone in family gatherings or when I sit with uh, my parents to eat food. And yeah, that's fine. Other times, yes, I do because it does give so much of knowledge as well if used right, if used well, if the
yeah,
technology or
see
the tool is used well.
the problem is that earlier when we were ruled, earlier when we were slave, remember, we were slave in a very brutal way of slavery. It was a very different kind of slavery, which was more physical,
Hmm.
right? But today is a deeper sense of slavery because that the texture has changed. There's people become very smarter. So people are actually giving out those tools which actually going to make you slave. See, per se, I'm not against the technology. I'm not saying that it is wrong.
No
But
one
I'm
is.
saying at least, yeah, I'm saying you have to bring that awareness. See, like I don't know who said what because I don't want to name drop names, but there's somebody said, what is pap and what is punya? He said very simple line. He said that something which you do consciously is punya, and something you do with unaware
Hmm.
without any consciousness, that's pap. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it is what you should not use your phone, you should not use this. I'm not saying that. I'm saying at least that awareness has to be there. Like for example, today, if you this is a takeaway from our discussion that if you even think from tomorrow onward, when you go out, you think about your vocal image also. You pay attention to your dress, pay attention to your style, pay attention to everything, but you have to also think about your vocal image, whatever you want to think. You want to talk better, you want to use the right word, you are thinking of listening more. Like I keep on saying in introductory sessions of mine, I say that if you can even take away, I was teaching a lot of foreigners recently. As an Indian, I was teaching the guys who were like from English countries. so
You were
so
teaching
i i
what?
was
Could you come again?
I was teaching I was teaching the accent to a lot of people from, say, Britain or American origin countries, and I was teaching them Australian accent. So and they really like the idea. See, I'm saying if you can take away this concept only,
Hmm.
that tomorrow onward, when you go for anywhere, you at least think about your vocal image or presence, whatever you want to use it. So I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna reframe it. I will have the eye contact. I would vocalize a little bit more. I'll try to watch my pitch. I'll see what my intonation is, where I'm going to use it.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying per se that this is wrong or right. And the rules also not going to help. But you say, okay, like during the lunch, I will not take, during the dinner, I'll not take. That's not the idea. Idea is that you bring awareness towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Mindfulness, whatever you want to use it. Because
Mindfulness.
mindfulness is a key for
Presence.
anything in your life. Like there's somebody was asking me, I think my dentist was asking me that she was talking about yoga, and then she said, what is a meditation? I said meditation is is the byproduct of entire thing. Whatever you do is a byproduct. It's like happiness. Say, I want to be happy, so let's be happy. No, you will do something. Something will happen to you to make you happy. Like you laughed. You didn't plan out now I want to laugh or I want to smile. No,
Correct. Yeah.
it's a byproduct of what is happening around you or within you, whatever you want to say it.
Hmm. Like
So
the
basically,
points that you
yeah,
said resonated with me, and yeah, I responded with a smile because that's an agreement. Like
yes.
what you say.
So, but you didn't plan out. You didn't plan out, okay, I want to be happy on this life. That's why it's so natural. That's what I was telling you prior to that. If you know how the trigger of happiness or the trigger of love, you will become incapable of loving. It's a very paradoxical, but very true.
Hmm.
Like if I know how to act, my
In a
nature of acting
materialistic,
would be
yeah, in a materialistic
no,
sense,
no,
it's
no.
like once you get this, I'm happy. Once you get this material, I'm happy. Once you get this vacation, you're happy. It's a jump.
No, but yeah, but this is a very beautiful question. But if you know the answer, like for example, if I say I'll get a car, just an example, if I get a BMW, I
Hmm.
drive say SX4. If I have to have BMW, I'll be happy. But it's an illusion. As soon as you will have BMW, you will have different kind of anxiety. May not be this anxiety, but something else. So actually, when you reach to that point, you are never happy. It's just the thought of happiness is there.
Hmm.
Like one of the Zen masters, a great story. He said, "What do you do?" He said, "What do you do? You tell me." He said, "I drink, I walk, I swim, I run." So Zen master said, "I do also the same thing. I walk, I run, I eat." So he said, "What's the difference?" He said, "There's a difference. When you walk, you think about running. When you run, you think about eating. When you eat, you think about something else. But when
Hmm.
I'm doing something, I'm just doing it. The act is not different. That's what I'm trying to teach you, that it's not about the act. It's about the awareness.
Right.
So when
Very
people say,
nicely
no, no,
said.
no, I'll get this golden necklace, I'll be happy. It just only thought is there. As soon as you will have necklace, you will not have happiness. Trust me on this. Maybe for a while you will feel, oh, I'm getting happy, but it will create more misery than what actually the misery was there. Like there's a beautiful line I read it somewhere. I really liked it. That
And
somebody
this
does it.
point, like, it just came to me right now. Like this very concept, how would you relate it to swar and voice, the sound? How would you relate meditation practice to the sound practice?
Yeah, because I think everything can be at the sync. I don't know if you know the word sur and asur. So sur is something which is in rhythm. But it's like when you say he's surila, that we say, right? Or we say this instrument is in sur. What actually it means? It's in rhythm, right? And something which has gone beyond rhythm become asur.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. When you bring your awareness or your mindfulness into act, it will be automatically fine tuned to it. That's why, for example, I don't teach anything. I'm not a teacher actually, by the way. I'm a coach. I don't know if you understand. I'm an accent and dialect coach. That's what I keep on saying. Now, what is the job of coach? People don't know. I'll just explain it to you in 1 minute. So basically, if I say I don't know, for example, if I don't know swimming, you can teach me swimming. But there is a problem where I'm saying, mark my word, and listen it carefully. So it's a little bit twisted. I have a lot of twisted statement. So when people say I don't know, and I don't know that I don't know, is a big problem. That's where I come in. So I
Hmm.
don't know is no problem. If I don't know something, you can teach me. But here is the problem: I don't know that I don't know that I don't know.
Makes sense.
It's called blind spot. Like for example, if the cricket team hire a coach, they're not expected to teach them cricket. They know already cricket. They are playing. They are, in fact, they must have played better than so-called coaches.
Correct. Right.
So what coach does? Coach does something called breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Breakthrough means that something which you cannot push with your own understanding.
Right.
So, for example, if somebody says sure and somebody says sir, there are people who they don't say sure, they say sir everything. Then and there she sold. Even they're not aware because their ecosystem is already saying sir, sir, sir. So if you tell them, you say shh, they would not realize it. They would not even understand it. That what's wrong with them.
Hmm.
Most of the cases where the sound is a problem. For example, if I'm saying Changla, am I saying it right? No, I'm not saying right. I'm saying wrong according to Marathi. It's only because in my dialect, on
Tangla.
my language, that sound is not there.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the ch is there in my sound. So I'm trying to replace with the sound which is there in my language.
Right. And this, the dialect and the accent concepts. Can you bring a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So basically, accent and dialect. Accent is something to do with more to do with the sound,
Okay.
and dialects is something to do with the words also. So I'll give a very simple example. In Bombay, we have lot many examples. So for example, you go to north, and if I say ye lamba girega, now it has a meaning. Lamba has a meaning, gira has a meaning. But you go to north and you say lamba girega, they will understand what it means. Though these words are there,
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
it's a dialectical difference. So they will not say ye dur hai. They will say it's dur hai. They will not say lamba girega. That will be told here in Mumbai, and people will understand what it is.
हाँ
So
हाँ.
accent,
ये लंबा
give or take,
गिरेगा is the distance which will be longer.
like
और
in Bombay,
ये
how
दूर
what is the meaning
पड़ेगा.
of
Okay. The words.
in Bombay? What it means? Lamba girega. It's far, right?
Hmm.
But in North, nobody says like this. It's lamba girega. They will say ye dur hai.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So give or take, or more or less, basically accent is something to do with the sound. So, for example, in American accent, I may say, I talk to you right now. But in British accent, I may say, talk to you right now. Talk to you. Can I speak to your daughter? Can I speak to your daughter? Can I speak to your daughter? And this purely mechanics. So basically, give or take means more or less, basically means that accent is to do something to with the sound, with dialect to do with the sound as well as the words. Like for example, jala. Jala is a word here, right? It means fat. Now,
Fat.
jala has a different meaning in North. That means winter.
Oh. So dialect plays a lot of role
Yeah,
here.
dialect is the key actually. Dialect is the key. Dialect, in fact, that's why when
Interesting.
American, that's what I was trying to release. Even American goes to say Australia, they have to learn the dialect. There's no way out. There's no word like that. Like for example, it's a good shout. When I said to American, it's a good shout, they won't understand what is it good shout. In Britain, it means it's a good idea.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it's a different word. But if you say in the US, you go say, "Oh, that was a good shout." They won't get it. They're not going to get it at all. So these are changes. For example, I'm knackered. It's a British way of saying I'm tired. So that's basically accent and dialect difference. So accent is more to do with the sounds, where dialect is much more larger spectrum. So there are words, there are sound, there are pronunciation, lot many things.
Right. And how? What's your take on the emotion behind any word that is used? So how does
That's
that
a
go?
very good question. In fact, if yeah, that's a very good. In fact, this is a very good question. So basically, it means if you have a right emotion, yeah, that's what I was coming on. So when you have a right emotion, your meter, your swar, your intonation, everything is going to be in sync.
Uh,
The biggest flaw, in fact, you identified very beautiful. I'm so glad. Record and put it somewhere separately. So basically, the difference is what? The problem is that we are just talking. There's no emotion behind it. Like you might have seen it. People say, "Hi, how are you?" And they move out. They're not even listening that you are saying I'm good and all this stuff.
yeah, so correct.
Hey, man, what's up? There's nothing there. It's just the sound I'm creating. What's up?
It's very
I'm not
mechanical.
interested.
I think like
Yeah, mechanical.
robots.
Yeah, it's like a machine. So you're right. That's what I was saying, the mindfulness. So mindfulness, one category. And if you bring a right emotion, rest, you don't have to do anything.
I think it's that emotion that adds juice to the words that come through.
Yes.
isn't it?
In fact, I recently was talking to one guy who sings about Kabir. He said something very beautiful that, and I've realized it. Like I listen a lot of Urdu, which I do not understand most of the time, but I feel so good. In fact, if I understood it, it's very paradoxical again. If I understood, I might not enjoy so much. Is that I don't understand, I enjoy more. I don't know if you get it.
Sometimes like Spanish and Turkish also has
Yeah.
that tone of it.
He said something very beautiful. He said the genuinity of emotion.
Yes, yes.
That is what you were trying to point out. So if you're so genuine with your emotions, rest would be in sync. That's what I was saying. What is a sync? What is a soul? So if I'm so like, for example, look at I'm so passionate about sharing this. I'm
Yes.
not just saying it. My whole body is saying it. My whole body is
You're in
vibrating.
it. Yeah.
So mostly what is happening that there's no emotion behind it. That's what I told you. Now it's a good that you so then has the whole circle has got completed. So for example, initially you might have not understood my statement is that if you can trigger the love, how can I become incapable of love? It's the same thing. Because I'm making it so mechanical.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're giving a conclusion there and then there's no exploration about it.
More than the conclusion, I became mechanical. That's the right word you identified, not me, but it's your credit. So basically you were saying it become very mechanical, right? I'm saying, oh, then you know the meter. So I need to say, and then I need to say something else, and I find it really good. So I'm just, what do you call it? There's a beautiful word, mounted. You are mounting the ideas.
Hmm.
So first line you have to say slowly, then second line you have to say a little higher, and third line you have to low down because now this is what you need to do. But there is no emotion, you are acting out.
Right.
I really like you. You so good. But don't say I really like you. Stress on like more. Don't stress
Hmm.
on you because you they're different. Like I teach something called intonation. So meaning changes. For example, if I say I like you, is a different meaning. But if I say I like you, is a different meaning. I like you is a different meaning.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you
You
get it.
stressed on every
So
letter
if you
and
stress,
word. Yeah.
no, you stress the meaning changes. For example, say, I like you. So I'm saying I like you. But I say, I like you, is that I like you, I don't like others.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Like I was teaching somebody yesterday or day before
Interesting.
yesterday. So for example, you need to drop me. You need to drop me. Just a simple statement. You need to drop me. You need to drop me. So there must be five guys who I'm saying you need to drop me.
Hmm.
But if I'm going to stress on need, it will change. You need to drop me. I'm getting a little aggressive.
Right.
So stress changes the meaning. So
Hmm.
when I was saying that when you become so-called master in getting it, you become incapable for a very simple reason that now you understood the meter. That's what the right word for swar is that you understood the meter. I lived with an actress. I had a short relationship with one time,
Would you
and I
like to
felt that
share a
it is
little
very,
experience about your work with swar, voice, languages, dialect when it comes to the creative industry, like movies and series?
so right now I'm trying to do a lot of acting as an actor. In fact, a lot of things are going to come up, and that is extension of my own understanding about the sound because what in English we call foot in the door. So you put your foot in the door and then the door crack open. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing it.
Okay,
So what I started telling people that basically the best instrument you have is your body.
of course.
Nothing can beat your not your body, anybody's body, even a dog's body, cat's body, everybody. So basically, it's your responsibility and onus lies on you to take care of it and magnify it. So I started realizing that sound is a key. Like I don't know if you know, I don't want to talk about somebody else's work, but there is a guy who researched that just the 7% is what we talk. It's gonna be communication part of it, called Mehrabian rule. You can Google it. So basically, it says only 35% is your intonation, your pitch, your density. And
Hmm.
55%, which is a staggering amount, is your body language, your posture, your contact in terms of your body and your eyes. Can you believe it? So words are just the 7%.
And
We pay
add
so much attention
vibrations
to
to
it.
it because
Yes,
that's become huge these days. We can
yes,
sense
yes.
and feel what kind of, like, if we are in a meditative, yeah, you have that practice, then it becomes even more heightened. First comes
Correct.
that feeling. What are you feeling being around someone? Yeah.
More than the feeling, it is more to do with, as I told you in like the last segment, is the genuinity of your understanding. So when you're passionate, for example, I'm very bad singer, but I used to learn singing long back. Okay, so when asked, and I was kid, and asked, what is the best way to sing? He said you have to infuse. I think you also said, and I wanted to take it from there. So you have to infuse like a tree. You have to infuse the meaning in the word itself. Like, give you an example. If you say he's beautiful, it has no meaning. I'm not pouring the meaning of beauty into beautiful. I'm saying he's beautiful.
That intensity there. Yeah.
The intensity, that
Yeah.
that that genuineness to express. Oh, she, like, for example, I come over to your place and you say, "How's the tea?" I say, "It's tea. It's nice." So in a way, I'm saying it's not nice. I didn't say it,
Yeah,
but
it's
I
very
said actually
vague.
it's,
Yeah.
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 But I'm saying, oh, it's nice. Oh, really nice. You will immediately say, "Can I get you one more cup?" I will say no.
Hmm.
So basically, what he taught me, and which carried my work towards the whole vocal presence, and which I'm trying to take it forward, is that you have to infuse the meaning itself. You should not give the meaning separately. Like
Right.
I'm saying, this is good. This is good. I would not say this is good. It looks very rude. There are a lot of people who are controlled and they say, "Oh, I want to be like this," and oh, it's good, but I don't think that's a good idea, according to my understanding. I would
I
rather
think I
it's
would
good.
say being very stingy with their emotions. They want to, they
Yeah.
don't want to
Oh,
put it
good.
out there, you know.
Do you read mind? I was about to say the thing. So the lately what happened, I discovered that people are not only stingy about their money, but they're stingy about their phrases also. I mean, I don't know why this thing. Maybe sheer laziness, inertia, whatever you can call it, but they're extremely stingy about everything in their life. They won't praise anybody. They would criticize. They're overly going to criticize you, but they would not praise you once. And you
I
will
think
live with
on
them for
that
10 years.
note, yeah, on that note, your work plays such an important role. Like really saying things, using those good words and that sound that comes along with it. You know, like you
Because
said,
see, it's
people
like
need to
it's
learn
like
to
a
praise
gratitude.
more, appreciate more.
No, more than the praise, you have to understand. Like other day, I was talking to my friend, and he did something 20 years back, and I remember every time when I talk to him, he said, "I haven't seen somebody who's having such a like thankfulness." I said, "No, it's not about you. It's about me because I carry that gratitude in my heart." I don't know if you're getting the sense. If you say good thing, you will feel good. You have not felt, not you, but you have not felt if you're
It's
angry,
a
you're
two-in-one
anguished, you're
thing.
jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're jealous, you are actually burning yourself. I don't know how much impact happened to that guy. I'm not sure
It
about it.
definitely
But
makes you feel good and it'll show that
yeah,
gratitude thing to the
yeah,
other
it
one. So
feels
it's
so
true.
bad. If you say angry, if you're abusing somebody, you feel so bad. So it is more of a selfish act, according to my understanding. That when you are saying something good, you are appreciated. For example, I said such a great question, such a great question. I was saying, and it's not because out of it, I know I mean it.
Yeah, I
I've not seen
definitely sense that. Yeah.
a person like you who has done this kind of research. You amazing work. Like there are a lot of people have taken my interview in terms of newspaper and all. They are so bad with their research. They don't know what they're talking about. They just say it.
With yeah, on that note, it's about yeah, I think with Kundalini Yoga, I was everything I was trying to relate with emotions because at one point I reached at such rock bottom where emotions only pulled me up. So that is where my research on how emotion is connected to every part of our life is become like paramount research for me. Like when I started healing my emotions through words and feelings, so the ailments and diseases, any issue I had, especially at the left side of my body, has like gone, and I'm super
I think
happy about it. So
only
that's
thing.
what I'm
Uh,
giving out through my course, teaching through Kundalini yoga courses to others. So yeah, that's why
because
I can
only thing I,
relate to what you say.
yeah, but only thing is missing according to my understanding, whatever I evaluated, but you are not with the right people. That's the only thing disturbing you. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I can sense that. And that's the whole, because see, whatever you practice, and this is again, I'm going to impose on my work.
You're welcome.
Your
It's okay.
ecosystem, yeah, your ecosystem is very critical to sustain a practice, any practice.
Yes. Yes.
Because ultimately, you don't live in isolation. You live with the whole ecosystem. And I think your ecosystem is actually burning you down. That's where I felt. And I don't
Hmm.
know how much I can correct. And I don't want the answer. You keep it in your heart. So you need to meet right kind of people because that's very important. Because most of the
Yeah,
time we
I
are,
think yeah, a little change of place is required because I've been in one city for too long. So yeah.
more than the place, I think there's something which I really liked it. I don't know. It's a very, again, very upside down. I don't want to use again twisted and paradoxical, so I just use upside down statement. Where it you can change the people around you. Mark my word. You can't change people around you, but you can change people around you. Did you get it?
Yes, makes
So
sense.
you, yeah, you cannot change the people's mentality, but you can change the people. I mean, you can just take this different set of people altogether. I do all the time because see,
It just
ultimately, it is
happens,
not.
right? It just happens. The new people
No,
come
sometimes you have to.
along. It's always there.
No, but sometimes you have to make an effort also because sometimes, like for example, I don't know if you've seen my picture. I look almost 20 years younger to my age, and like I was taking a picture with my with the kids in gym, and I wrote also like half of my age, and I laughed. See, idea is not about right or wrong. Idea is not. See, one very important thing we need to realize, as I told you, that this sense of urgency has to be there. Not anxiety, but urgency is required in order to live a kind of life you're looking for.
Yes,
So I think that is where it's
true.
a little bit burning. And I say even for the accent or for communication, if you learn everything related to the communication, but if you don't have the ecosystem, you will not be able to sustain it. The whole problem will happen that where you will not be able to assimilate it and use it. Where are you going to use it? A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to do this, but then I don't know how to do it."
Hmm. Yes, a
So
lot of
it's very
that
important
has been happening
to.
lately. Not just with me. I think a lot of them who are now discovering their gifts. Like what am I supposed to do with what I already know?
So one way of people are either drifting away from anybody and everybody, which is like according to the same rule what we're talking about, the texting part of it, that you are getting into texting. So one way that you are making every shun everybody around you. That's not. You have to have a right people, and there are right people,
Of course. Yeah.
and you have to find out. You have to be with them because that's very important to make your practice sustainable. Otherwise,
Mm.
you get tired. You get tired after a certain point, and you'll say, like for example, most of the time I've seen people they do something, they start teaching. So I don't know if you understand the concept of teaching. Why they teach? They want to teach because they don't have ecosystem to sustain it. If they have a system to forget about the money part of it, if they have an ecosystem to sustain it, they don't want to teach. They're just teaching because they want to look for a people or reinforce themselves with what they're doing it. I don't know if you understand. If
I'm
nobody's doing
getting your
yoga
point.
at your
It's
place,
it's more of an
yeah,
expression that's coming with it
yeah.
of
Because, for example, if you have
individual.
nobody around, yeah, nobody's around you is doing yoga with you. If you have a partner right in your house, partner means anybody, mother, father, brother, anybody. And then you don't need it. But then if you don't have anybody, so what do you do? How can I practice yoga? So one is that you're so determined, you go and do it alone. There's another way of doing it. It is start teaching. But there's a third dimension which I keep on saying: find right people and stick with them.
Yes. I think that's
Then
when
you can sustain
community
your
building
practice.
has become so prominent, in last 1 year. It's like so much of community
Exactly.
building,
Exactly.
lots of WhatsApp groups, and we still, yeah, so we anyway meet people who we truly are supposed to be with.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
just comes
Yes.
along. Although if I have not got it directly through people I have invested time with, again, grace of nature, grace of universe, I still get it from somewhere. So it's
Yes.
great.
But then
Lovely.
you have to just make sure to do it so magnified so that you can, like I'm also doing the same thing. That I'm trying to find out right people whom I can not only gel but try to do and create a very different kind of atmosphere altogether. Because
Yes.
that's very important. Sometimes you have to grip the whole idea, otherwise the idea fizzles away. Like the strength of idea lies in what? Like for example, you spoke to me, you said, let's do this interview. I said yes. The strength of idea lies into implementation.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Otherwise, you said few minutes back that it fizzles away, it goes away. You don't think about it now. You think about, oh, it's too much. So let's do something else. That's why people out of boredom they get into wrong relationship. They get into uh, baby making kind of business. I don't like, and that's what they keep on doing, and they completely sucked into life.
Yeah, I think this is where a little bit about I think I would slightly blame the female collective because they are not taking responsibility of what they really want. It's like, okay,
Bang on. I love you for this. People not because see that's one of the huge argument
because
happened with one of my
very
friend, and they
simple
was totally the
things,
same.
like even if it is a marriage or a relationship thing, I see that why women are not taking responsibility to go check that man's house, check that circle he is in, and do all the evaluation, and instead of later cribbing about things like why you don't have, like,
I think
come
we had a
on,
discussion on this
as
because
women
people
we
say,
have that intelligence already.
but the most of the time problem happens that people are trying to feel very good about being victim. I don't know if you understand. This is
Yeah,
again
yeah,
very
I get
extreme.
it,
But
sympathy
they
thing.
try to say, oh no, that's very convenient, no, because I have somebody to blame. Because I don't want to do anything in my life, honestly. I don't want to do
Hmm.
anything in my life. I want to just do nothing. So I want somebody to find father, mother, brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever it is, and try to blame because I don't want to do it. I mean, psychologically, it is very true that sometimes if I don't want to do the dancing, I would blame somebody else to say I don't want to. I'm not doing dancing because of you.
Right, I've been there, I admit it. But then it takes
Because most
responsibility to come back to what you really are determined to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you can sustain this practice and do it for a very long time, you will rock. I mean, I felt in my life the same kind of intensity.
Right. Okay, so
All
we
right.
have 2 more minutes to go, and your last, within a minute, your message for men in Bharat.
So it's a very simple message that you think about what or you need to take a pause before doing anything, whether you're talking to yourself or talking to others. As that thing about your vocal image, as Rashmi reinforced and really appreciate and acknowledge and say the same thing that if you have right emotion, rest thing will sink into what you are doing it. That's the best way to communicate according to my understanding. So if you have right emotions and if uh, we really want to do it. Like there's something very beautiful line I read in gym and I really liked it. Everything boils down to how badly you want it. So it's like very simple. I try to put up very simple facts and sentences. I don't want to make it already complicated life more complicated. So I just try to make sure that how badly you want it. If you have a quest, I keep on giving this example to everyone. If I keep a glass of water here and you run and come like 5 kilometers and come and drink the water, and if I'm sitting and drinking the water changes, the taste will change, right?
Right,
So
and
there's no
we are
change, no
almost
change
closing
the
here.
water.
Yeah, would you like to
Yeah.
continue on the next slot just for 5, 15, 5, 10 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
thank you.